Hello, everybody. Jeff Gibby. We're about to kick off here in just about 4 minutes. I'm going to make sure all the audio looks good. I don't run this room very often, so this should, I'm sure nothing will go wrong. See you in a second. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We are about to start. We're going to kick off in just about 2 minutes or so. So I hope you're well. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that like, that subscribe button. It helps a great deal. And say hello. It's always good to see you. And again, 2 more minutes. Everything looks like it's running well. We'll see you in a minute. Thanks. I do like that one. Hey, what's up?
$18.
So Mr. Lakey's been working with us for about 18 years. He's joined the sales team for about a year ago, I think, and he does a great job. He's got such a good technical knowledge of the software. And so, Lakey, I'll go ahead and let you take it away.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We definitely appreciate you coming out. And as I said, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like and subscribe. And if you feel like hitting the dislike, just remember what my parents always said. If you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all. All right, so today we are going to be talking about finding the right strategy for you. This is a perfect tool. MetaStock in itself is a perfect tool for doing that, helping you decide what's going to help you become a better trader. Again, I'm Al Lakey. Here's my contact information. I will definitely show this again at the end. Feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions that you have about MetaStock, and I can help guide you to the right resource if I can't answer the question myself. All right, so what does it mean to find the right trading strategy for you? Just a moment. We went somewhere else. Okay, by the way, let's just hit on this since this slide came up first. MetaStock has been rated #1 in its price category by the readers of Stocks and Commodities magazine for the last 30 years. You heard this a lot because we definitely want to make sure you know you're in the right place by using MetaStock. So we're going to talk about the importance of a trading plan, understanding your trading plan, trading or testing your trading ideas, scanning for trades, and we'll hit on some special offers at the end. We may not touch much on those, but we're definitely going to be talking about these facets of MetaStock. And just by the way, I'm going to be kind of doing this without worrying about following the agenda to any real specifics. If you have any questions, be sure to type them in, and I will be more than happy to answer them. You can type them into the YouTube or into the questions in the GoToWebinar. So, MetaStock. One thing I wanted to touch on before I really go very far is one of your best tools for finding things that are in MetaStock is the help system. I'm not sure if it's used often enough because when I worked in support, I would want to make sure that people were aware of the help system and all the things it can do for you. You'll see a help button on almost every screen that'll bring up the help topic for that screen. You can also, there's a context sensitive where I can find the button. Let's see, where is it? Oh, right here. And I can click on it, and now I have my mouse has changed, so it has a little question mark by it. If I click on something, again, I will get a help topic on that item. Very helpful. Also, go to the help menu. We have MetaStock help. And here we can see lots of different topics that we can type on. The index and search are ones that I use constantly. Being in support, you get questions about different parts, or you'd want to guide people to find the answers. And this is what I would use, the index and search constantly. If we look in our contents, the one area that I really want to break out for you in this particular webinar is the included systems and tools part of the contents. If we expand that with hitting the plus symbol, you'll see these built-in systems in the MetaStock, and you can read up on them. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to us and let us help you with any of these questions that you have because we're here to help you and serve you. So I wanted to start with a kind of a basic system that's built into MetaStock. You'll see this webinar done quite a bit, and I was hoping that I could maybe break out into some areas that maybe you don't see very often. So let's just start with something that maybe everyone's heard of, but it's quite a system. It's the Turtle Trader hybrid. So let's go back to the slideshow for just a moment. And let's close the help system. Excuse me. All right, let's go to the next slide. So this was, Richard Dennis was involved in creating this. And his idea was, I always say you could publish rules in a newspaper and no one would follow them. The key is consistency and discipline. And he was part of developing a system that they taught to a group of users. They funded this group of users, and all they had to do was follow the rules for their trading. And they made $175 million over 5 years. So quite a good return on your investment if you're able to follow a simple system like the Turtle Trader. So let's go back to the help system. And we are going to look again in our included systems and tools and under name brand systems. And we have the Turtle Trader Hybrid. So here's a basic information on the Turtle Trader Hybrid. And it tells you what these rules were that they were following. Very basic. I've actually been impressed with this one myself and thought, this is always one that seems like a basic trader could follow. It would work good if you're a busy person. You can follow it with end of day data and you can trade with this. Now here you'll see, as in typical with any of our topics, is that it tells you some trademark information, and there's also a link to a website that you can go to and view some of the information on it. So let's just follow through, because this Turtle Trader system has an expert advisor, which shows you on your charts things. It also already has a built-in exploration and a system test. So let's just take a brief look at how this system looks on a chart. So I'm going to move this over here, and here is our chart. I always pick on IBM if I'm going to open a chart. I don't know why that symbol comes up to my mind all the time. But we're just going to use a clean template. There's not a Turtle Trader template. You can create your own, and feel free to do so. Definitely something you want to do if you're going to follow this kind of system. So I'm just going to open with a clean template. I'm going to open the chart of IBM. Now this chart does not have anything on it. I personally like candlesticks, so I will double click on these bars. I will also return it to the default settings and pick my candlesticks and click OK. And then I'm going to right click on the chart. There's so many ways of doing things in MetaStock. I can give you 5 ways to do anything to accomplish anything that you want in MetaStock. My personal preference is to right click to do most of my tasks. So I'm going to right click, go to Expert Advisor and attach. And I'm going to attach the Turtle Hybrid, Turtle Trader Hybrid. Okay. So this attaches this particular template to our chart. You're going to see green arrows and red arrows for entry long and shorts. You can also see some different information. I did not read up on this earlier. The 10 I know has to do with, it's a warning on your different trades, but then the stop signs are for your exits. And if you glance across this page, you can just at a glance find that, we had a little trade here that didn't work, but then we had this trade that really did well. And then we got stopped out when it came down hard. But look at this distance that we traveled up before we got stopped out. We came along, we've got another one, did well. We made quite a move up before we got stopped out. Same for this little trade. I mean, I'm just looking at some basic ones. Let's go back in time. And so we can, at a glance, we can see here we didn't do fare quite as well in this area of consolidation. However, there were times that even with this consolidation pattern, we did fine in the markets. All right, so So then you might wonder, well, okay, how would this have done across a long time? I can look at it on the chart and I can take a pen and paper and figure out where my entries and exits were. You know, one thing before I move on, I definitely wanted to bring up was the expert commentary. So I'm going to go back to my right-clicking habit and right-click on the chart, go to Expert Advisor, and go to Commentary. Again, you can show this in so many ways through the View menu and so forth. And I wanted to make this fairly large so we can all see it. So we'll see that there's a little arrow here on the chart, a little green downward arrow. That's the date that the expert is written for. And this is the information that comes up for the two-turtle trader. If we want to see what the information would have read in the day of the signal, I can click the arrow and reverse it one day, and now it tells me about my entry. So we have our 20-bar breakout price, and we have the other information about the Turtle Trader system. We also have a little write-up here at the bottom to get, once again, give you that same information we saw in the help system. So that's the Expert Advisor, very good. And you're going to use, you know, for any system you're trading or looking at within MetaStock, the Expert Advisor's commentary is so helpful and widely used amongst any of our add-ons that you can purchase. May not be everywhere for all of the built-in systems, but definitely something for our add-ons. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the commentary. And I was moving on to the exploration. So once again, or excuse me, the system test is what I was going to do next. And you can say, well, how I can write down on paper and I can try and figure out how well this system would have done across, let's say, 5 years. You know, how did the system fare in this time? Well, we can use the system test to test that. So I'll click the Power Console button in the upper left corner. And then I'll go to the System Test tab in my Power Console. And we will look for the Turtle Trader Hybrid. And I will check that. And I could check it across many symbols, but for the moment, we're just going to try IBM. So I'm going to type IBM at the top. And we're going to do it across 1,250 records. So we're going to test this system across 5 years of data. And I will start the test. And let's view the results. And we can see that over the last 5 years, make this larger, we actually lost money on it. So for IBM, we did not fare so well with using that system. Now, we had the buy and hold, we would have actually made $3,700. But our overall running the system, we actually would have lost money. So that's quite a telltale sign that says, hey, you know what? This didn't actually work for IBM. There was a lot of, what I can see is a lot of chop on that chart. And overall, it did not work out too well. Just for kicks and giggles, let's check the last year and see what the difference would be. I'm going to do 260 records. We typically say 5 years is 252. I'm going to include a couple more because it always takes a couple more periods to start the test because we have to get past the first 20 periods. So I'll start that. Let's see what we would have done last year. Still a loss. That's interesting. I would not have expected that. But this is what really makes it so good to look at these systems. So now we have to figure out what we need to do to perhaps improve on that so that we do not have these losses. You know what? One thing I should check, actually, the trade options. Let's see. Actually, this could be a problem. I don't like this setting, so I'm going to go back to and I'm going to actually change this to 95% of available equity. I don't think I really don't expect a difference, but we're going to see what happens with that. So with the system test, As you can see, there's lots of options that we can pick and choose from. And we can definitely see what happens. Okay, so we increased our loss. That's interesting. I would really like to go dig into this and find out why, but now's not the time and place for that. But this is definitely how the system tester can work for you to show you what your buying systems can do. Let's see. Let's just see if we can do better by doing it on a larger group. So I'm going to go into. So here's my custom list, our public list. I'm going to go into index constituents area. I'm just going to pick out the Dow Jones Industrials, all 30 of those. Let's see what it does on a larger group. So it's going to go through each one at a time for these symbols and test that system. Let's see if we can get something to work. Well, we did have one symbol work for sure. I'm going to sort these by the percent gain. So Apple did very well. So we have about a third of the stocks that did really well with the system. Apple did very well. We can see by this graph that, let's look at the worst ones. Intel didn't fare so well with this system. So if we wanted to, we could look at our Apple chart. We could say plot on chart, and it would open up a clean template because that's what we have selected. And we're going to go see what happened with Apple. Zoom in here. I'm just going to go ahead and use the plus symbol here. So this is how Apple would have traded. It does not have the expert on this chart. So let's right click, go to expert advisor, and let's attach it. And we actually see, let's remove, we're going to delete the symbols from the chart. And I'll go here to, let's see here, what is it under? Let's see, sorry. It's got to be the edit, delete all, there we go. And we're going to delete all the symbols from the chart, because all of those symbols from the system tester and then away now of my expert advisor. So this chart looks different from our IBM chart. Apple, same technology, same basic work group, but they fared really well with it. So now we know how this system fares in the market because we've done some system tests. I'm not sure I would trade that exact system without inspecting it some further, but let's see how we can find the signals for this system, because that's the flow of our session that we need to have. So let's go to Power Console. We'll go to the Explorer, and we will look for the title Turtle Hybrid. Now I'm doing this wrong, and I don't know why my habit isn't to do this. This is actually kind of newer with 18 to be able to type in up there. My habits just have not gotten to do that. So here we go. Here's our Turtle Trader Hybrid. And let's do a scan. We're just going to do it on the S&P 500. So I'm going to go down here in my public list to the S&P 500 and click that. And I'm going to start my exploration. We're not going to load minimum records. There we go. And let's see what we get here. This shouldn't take too long. We are working off of the live system, but we are on daily data. So as this runs, if you guys have any questions, make sure you reach out. I'm not seeing any questions pop up. Here we go. Which software are you using, please? Or I'm using MetaStock. That's our MetaStock software. If you own MetaStock, thank you. And you can just talk to us, and we can help guide you through these steps that I'm doing with our support department. or you can contact me. I'll put my contact information again later. But yeah, we're using MetaStock. And I definitely, if you don't have MetaStock, my email address is al.lakey, Lakey, @metastock.com. Again, I'll show you that at the end. All right, so we had 482 symbols come up here. And so it's showing whether there's buys and shorts. This does not have a filter, obviously. Yeah, the filter's on. So this doesn't have a filter. So I'm going to look for those that have a 1 in the buy column. And then I could use those. I could chart that. I could open that chart. And I can, normally I would have this set up as a template already, and I do not. So I'll add this expert to the chart again. And we'll see that the very current bar for Agilent, which is actually today, has a buy signal on it. So we could, probably we'd be running this at night. We could decide what we were going to do for the next day. If we liked that, then we would initiate it based upon our trading plan. Haven't went deep into the trading plan. I really went over MetaStock and using MetaStock to go through these tools. But you can kind of see that you would develop a trading plan based upon your findings. The power of MetaStock is the ability to take your trading ideas and program them in. All this is this turtle system. Let's see if we can edit this. So we take like the expert. And let's edit this for a moment. And yes, so see how we can see the formulas in this one. This is not password protected. So let's look at our symbols. So like our buy arrows would come up when it's calling a formula. So we'd have to look up this formula, but you can see that it's over a cross of the 20 bar high. So we're saying that once the price crosses this 20 bar high, then we're going to have a buy signal. And so that's what's plotting it on our charts. And you can say, I want to look when it crosses something else and make your own system. And I can also incorporate maybe other indicators to say, hey, you know what? I want a favorable RSI. I want a favorable MACD as well in order to qualify it as a buy. So we can add our own twist to this. And these that are not password protected, I like to say they're great examples of what you can do, because these are things that you can edit and you can see what they're doing, as well as the notes from them. And our support department can help you with formula writing. We have formula writing tools on our website and the formula primer. And you can learn to write your own formulas with those tools and that information. All right, let's see here. So I had a couple of others that I was going to pick out and going to use. So let's look at a couple of other systems here that have system tests built in. And in our help system, I'm going to go back to that because I think, like I said, I think this is one of the best tools for you to help find different options that are within MetaStock. So let's look at, so we've got several here, and most of these are very well known. ACT was added in. It was a very popular add-on, and it's just one of the add-ons that was put into MetaStock. So if we wanted to read up about the Adaptive Cycle Toolkit, I can go into that topic and I can look at like the welcome, and then this is the full manual that came with that add-on, and it will explain to you how to trade it. So it will help you develop a trading plan. Another one is the RMO, Rahul Mohinder Oscillator. There isn't a system test with this, but again, this is a system, and I can guide you to in our YouTube channel some videos that will talk specifically about how to trade the Rahul Mohindar oscillator. So again, you need to develop a trading plan based upon the system that you're going to follow. But let's just take a look at ACT real quick. Let's see. So we can look at a chart with ACT to get familiar with the system. And we're going to look at IBM again. We're going to use the ACT. Let's use the ACT Mama Fama. So ACT is stands for Adaptive Cycle Toolkit. So it tries to adapt to the cyclic nature of your stock. So let's open this chart. And let's take a look at what our chart shows. We have some buy and sell signals here, telling us when to get in and get out. Let's look at our expert commentary. And we have nothing on that particular day that it's on, which is always starts at the very right part of the chart. Let's go over here to another one. And so this is telling you there's a long opportunity and that it's bullish. And if we go to the next one, we're still bullish. Now, it really does it. This one here does not go into the details of some of our add-ons that we have, which are very well detailed and tell you exactly how to trade the system. This is only something you need to determine for yourself, is how you're going to trade that system based upon the information you have. So if we have a buy, let's see here. It does not tell us exactly when we're going to get in. However, I know from my experience, we want this to continue higher. So if we do continue higher, we're going to get in at some point close to these highs. Now, let's look at, we can do this way, go to the Power Console, go to our system test. Let's see how ACT performs on our same set of symbols. So go to the ACT Mama Fama. I believe that chart I used was no noise, but it doesn't really matter. We'll just do that one. And we'll do this once again on our Dow Jones Industrials 30. And we'll see how this works on those 30 symbols. Okay. Huh. Okay. Oh, I had two. Okay, so I did do two system tests. Okay, let's look at. Let's go back. I did not mean to do two system tests. I want to get a cleaner report for us to look at. So you can see how I can test multiple systems and multiple stocks all at once. So here we can see ACT really did well for us. It didn't perform on every symbol as well, but it definitely has more green on it than we did with the turtle system. Let's see what we did, what our best profit was. And why would it be Apple again? Apple is definitely leading the pack, isn't it, in its trading opportunities. So we can look at that chart. We can highlight it. We can look at more of the information. So we can highlight and click view and look at its more specific information. For instance, we had a profit of $154,000. That was based upon a starting equity of $100,000. So we more than doubled our money. In fact, you can see that 154% of the next item. And then here is our buy and hold profit would have been $300,000. Interesting numbers, isn't it? All right, so let's go ahead and let's plot this on the chart and see how it would have held up. And so these are all the buy and sells on this chart. Let's zoom in so we can see them better. And we can analyze every one of these trades for what they did and why they entered and exited. So here's our trades. We still have an expert attached. Let's unattach it. So here's our entries and exits. So here we entered, this is position 1347, and we can see we exited here 1347. That's where we went from, we gained from here up to here before we exited. And then we took another position. So we can analyze our system through the system tester, through the reports from the system tester, and through the charts that we have. All right, now let's take a look. So, okay, so the exploration. So our other thing was, well, we decide that we like that system. So we're going to try and find symbols that have the signals that we need. So I'll just search for ACT up here, go to Mama Fama, no noise. And let's see what we have selected. I believe we saw the S&P 500. So let's see what kind of signals we can get off of that to do our trading with. So this is going to search those 500 symbols. We're going to be looking for our signals. All right, so here we have longs and shorts. There's our shorts. Here's all of our longs. So let's take a look at a long. I'm going to open the chart. Oh, let me do this. I'm going to back up a step. Go back here to the Power Console. If I go to the chart tab now, I can make sure that I have that particular template selected, and I do. So now when I open a chart, that's what it's going to open in. So we'll open the chart. I'm going to set this aside. And let's see here. Oh, what do we got? This is 3M. Let me see here. So actually what it's saying, these are saying we're in a long condition now. So that's what these charts are. In fact, I'll go forward a little bit and you'll see that these are in a long position. So that's what that's reading on those particular expiration. So you can see that we could look at our charts and decide which ones we might want to look at further based upon that exploration. This could be a good buy area for this particular system, the ACT Mama Fama. So so you can look at these systems and decide how they would work for you if you would be satisfied with those. And you always have to look at the system test, in reality. Let's take a look at some things here. Let me go to the trade options once again. I want to see something here. Yeah, we've got everything's set to default. Perfect. So we don't have any unusual settings. Good. Now, if you wanted to develop your own system, this is one thing that you're able to do. Let's just say that I really like the fact that I like moving averages. And I just want to trade every time the moving average crosses my symbol. I could actually set up a chart. Let's do a clean template on this. You know, moving averages is one of the most basic systems that you might learn at the very beginning. It's just what a moving average is. And people do trade off those. I do know people that trade only off of moving averages. So it's not outdated. So let's just add a moving average here. Let's go with the 20. Now I know quite a bit about the formula writing. So this is something I can get through pretty quick. So let's just see the 20 simple moving average. We'll throw that on our chart. So now we don't see when our buy and sell signals are here because we don't have an expert for that. Well, I'm going to create one really quick. So I'm going to go into the expert advisor. Oh, I'm going to do it up here. I got to create it. So let's create a new one. Let's call it Lake E. So we're going to name it Lake EMA, and we're going to just note everywhere. We're just going to do the longs for time. So let's say MA buy, and the condition's going to be when the close crosses to become greater than the 20 period moving average. I am forgetting something. Oh, the close. Yep, that's what I'm forgetting. So the close crosses the 20 period moving average. Go to my graphic. I'm going to give myself an arrow up, and we'll make it green. And I'm going to go ahead and say, put the word buy here below. I'm going to make it below the price and below the symbol. So now all of that appears below. And then I'm just going to click OK, and I'm going to attach it. Click the attach and close this. So there's everywhere that it closed. In fact, you can see, like I said, I like candles, so we're going to switch to candles. All right, so we can see that every time the close crosses this 20 period moving average, that's going to be considered a buy signal. Now I can tell you right now from this that this system would be hard pressed right here to necessarily work in this particular, the last couple months. So I would probably add another criteria to this to make my trading plan, because I'm going to have to add to this. For instance, let's take a look at some of these signals. If we have a buy right here, so we've got a buy signal. So what do we do the next day? When do we buy? Do we go ahead and just buy on the open, which would have been here? Or do we buy once it crosses the high of the previous day or some percentage of the high? Those are parts of the trading plan that we have to decide. Now they always say, well, what's your exit? You always need to know an exit before you ever enter a trade. So we have to know what would our exit be once we do get into that trade. What's our stop going to be, or our target price? You know, how long are we going to hold that symbol? That has to be part of our plan. So let's just take this basic idea. And this is on MOS, although I know that most charts are going to look very similar to this over the last couple of months. So let's just take that particular option. Let's say, well, let's test it in MetaStock. So we'll go to the system tester, and we'll create a new system test by clicking the new system test button. We'll call it Lakey MA. And we're only going to do longs, and we're going to have a buy order. So here we go. here's our system does. So these are decisions you're going to be making. We're going to buy when the close crosses that moving average, just like we put on our chart. I could have copied and pasted this formula from here, but I did not. So we're going to have to type it real quick. Okay, so what should our exit be? Well, what if we just reverse that? Not very sophisticated, I agree. But what if we just reverse that? This is what we're going to test. We could do shorts as well, maybe doing those, but right now we're going to concentrate on just this one option. So I'm going to click OK. It's a very simple test. Let's see how we do. So there's this test. Let's do it on the Dow 30, just like we've done before, the last 5 years. And let's view our results. Not bad. Of course, what Apple's always aren't going to be our number one because Apple's done so well. Let's look at our gain, percent gain. So, yep, Apple did well, but just with that simple system, look at how well we actually did as far as we may not have gained a huge amount, but most every group of our trading was positive. We only had a third of them that were negative in the negative trade section. If I would have traded just that going along on the Dow 30 over the last 5 years on the 20 period moving average, I would have done just fine. Very simple. Too simple if you ask me, but very simple. We didn't do anything sophisticated with finding out how our moving averages, working, multiple moving averages. We could do that. So now let's say, well, hey, we really like that. We really like the fact that that works well for us. So let's find some symbols that are meeting that criteria today. So we'll go to the exploration. And we're going to create a new exploration. Once again, Lakey MA. And now, so the exploration, I don't want to get into a lot of detail with this per se at this time, because we are definitely running short on time. But we'll go to our formula, our filter formula. Our filter is the workhorse of our exploration. And we're going to use that same formula. The cross of the close of greater than the 20 period moving average. So let's take a look at this though. Maybe we want some additional information on our report. So let's just see what the close is. And then let's see what the moving average is. Oh, it's not typing. Better type. M-O-E. Okay, so we'll just note the numbers of those. Now we could go further and maybe show the previous numbers as well. So we're identifying the cross. Maybe we want to know what the MACD level is, something of that nature. So we could add these to these other tabs. We're just going to show this in our little demonstration, and I'll click OK. And let's search for mine. And once again, we're going to do it on the S&P 500. My report's still open. Got to close that. You can see that my start button wasn't active because I had a report open. I have to close that before I can run the exploration. So sometimes you might run into this where you can't figure out why your start button's not active. Call us. We'll help you figure it out. But it's either going to be one of three things. You didn't select any symbols, you didn't select an exploration, or you already have a report open. And if you actually go here to the MetaStock logo on your taskbar, you would see that list shown here. All right, let's do that exploration. Let's see if we have any symbols. Again, I'm only looking for the long opportunities on a 20 period moving average. Let me see here. My chart's not going to come up the way I want when I go to do this. So While this is running, I'm going to quickly move over here to my chart tab. And for the moment, we're going to just use a clean template. And I'm going to also make another change. So my options, because once I get this set up, I might want to look at more than one chart. I'm going to use chart as template, just like it says here. So perfect. Okay, so now remember I told you you can find your report by going to the MetaStock logo. So what I'm going to do is come down here, find my report. So these are all the symbols that as of today would have that crossover. Let's take a look at a couple of those charts. So I'm going to open up one from the list, and then we'll be able to scroll through my list with one chart open. So I'll open the chart. Again, it's got these guys, the candlesticks. I double click, restore them, change it, or it says bars. I'm going to change it to candlesticks. And I'm going to click OK. And here we have this. Now we need our moving average to help show us. Oh, excuse me. Let's put the moving average. Yes, I did. Let's do that, as well as my expert advisor that I created just for this. Oh, yeah, that's not it. All right, go right click, expert advisor, attach. And we'll go down here in the L's. And looky there, we have a buy signal on today's bar. Kind of in a downtrend on this guy, but this is showing us a long buy opportunity. Boy, I look at this chart and all kinds of ideas come to mind. How it's just following that 20 right on down. Let's take a look at some other charts. Let's see if we can find something that's going up and doesn't have all this long down like this one does. So I'm going to just scroll through these by clicking this arrow. Comcast kind of been going down and challenging that 20 period moving average. Another one, same scenario. You know, with all the ups, I imagine we're going to see a lot of this with all the downtrends that we've had. Yeah, let's just see if we can find one that's breaking out from an uptrend, and they're not going to be there. So then you have to ask, what would my trading plan be? That's a good question. You know, if I find something, I'm gonna need to put more rules on this, I feel, as opposed to just blindly following this. But obviously our system test says, hey, this is a good system to follow. We just happen to be in this kind of market right now where it's been going down and we're suddenly turning up. So I'm assuming that if I run this at other times, I will get some different opportunities that maybe have been increasing, had a pullback, and are now moving away from the 20 period moving average once again. But this is my scenarios I have for today that I would need to analyze and decide if it's something I'm going to trade based upon my trading plan that I would develop. Maybe you want to get some help for a trading plan. Let me see what we have here. I'm just going to show you something, but I'm going to have to close MetaStock and reopen it to do this. All right. Okay, bear with me just a moment. I did some shenanigans before I started, and it won't take me long to undo them. And it'll be good if I undo them because the next presenter won't like what I did. So it's a good thing I'm doing this now, then I don't have to do it again later. I wanted to run off of a clean system, so I set myself up to do that. All right, let's reopen MetaStock. Got some good systems out there that have trading plans built into them that makes them so much easier to use. And I've got several. I'm going to look for what's installed in here and find some commentary that has your trading strategy built into it. And it's opening up. Sorry, this will take a moment. Don't see any new questions here. I did have somebody who was going to be here, and they had a question that I was going to go over real quick. One thing in our explorations, or let's back up. One thing our public lists have, for instance, all of the stocks for the NASDAQ, all of the stocks for the New York, all the stocks in India, all the stocks in Australia. I think a lot of people would not trade every single stock that's in those groups for a variety of reasons. The typical one would be for the price and volume. So the best thing to do is to create an exploration that limits the price and volume information, or it limits your stock list to those that only have that. Once you run your exploration against all of the stocks, maybe in the Australia Stock Exchange or wherever you're at, then you can save that list and use it for a smaller group of only the things that you would trade. You would run that through your explorations and not everything in that particular market. And when you feel you need to update your list, you just rerun your, I call it a filter, price and volume filter, and then you're all set. Okay, let's see here. So many of these systems have this information, but I'm just going to bounce down here for a moment. Let me see. Yep, we have Vora filtered. Let's look. We'll have to rerun this obviously because, and we'll just run it against the stocks that are selected now. So you see, I switched over to somebody else's system. All right, so let's look at this one here. I think I do want, I think I'm going to do the re-enter because I want to get some signals here for a chart. Excuse me. All right. Don't like the way this is working. Back up. Let's just do this. We don't need to run an exploration. Let's just take a look at the commentary as it shows up. And again, I've got most of our really well-known systems have this. Okay, so Vora Victory, and let's do it on IBM. Heck, I like picking on IBM. I don't know why, but I do. So let's open up IBM. Oh, okay. So, well, IBM's had a couple of symbols in the last couple of days. So let's look at our expert commentary. And let's look at what a trading plan can look like. Here we have a re-enter. Okay. It says we're in a long position. The exit, the price of security closes below 144. There's our exit strategy. Let's go back and look at when our signal occurred. So this likes this particular opportunity, and this tells you exactly what you want to trade and when you want to enter. So it'll tell you, especially if you're buying options, this particular one goes into some of the options information. And then it will tell you when you're going to exit, what your exit strategy is. These are the things that you would need to develop, or you would need to make sure that you're following with any of your trades. So we went over quite a few things in MetaStock. We talked about looking at the chart, how to look at a chart and maybe look at some of the systems within MetaStock through the help. And remember, let's look at that again real quick. So in our help button, go to the MetaStock help. Under the contents, these are the built-in systems that you can learn about. And if you need any help with any of these, definitely reach out to us. And so these are built-in systems. You may have your own system that you want to develop. So you might want to learn about the formula language. We have resources to help you with that. but you're going to need a trading idea to start with. Some kind of indicator or some kind of trading idea that you can develop on. MetaStock is a technical analysis toolbox. It is there for you to learn to do any kind of formula writing or any kind of indicator to use with your trading strategy. So the first thing you're going to do is to have an idea. Maybe you want to take and plot it on a chart so you can see how it looks on a chart. Then you're going to take and develop a system test around that with rules that you write into the system test of when you buy and sell and you exit. Then you're going to take and test that system. Then maybe you'll create an exploration to find it, as well as, again, enhancing your chart with expert advisors to give you the symbols on the chart. Lots of tools here for you to use with MetaStock. And it's only growing, the amount of tools you have available. Let me see one thing, make sure I covered all of my bases. Okay, now, all right, so let's go back and review. This is me, Al Lakey. I really love working at MetaStock. Everybody I work with is so great. Our customers, honestly, we have some of the best customers in the world. I can't imagine working anywhere else. Please get a hold of me if you have any questions whatsoever. We love your business. We want to help you be successful. That's what we're here for. If you have any trouble using the system, if you have any questions about how to improve your using the system, we have resources for that. I'm going to go throw in a plug for our Learn MetaStock site. It's not, I said ours, but you know, it's run by Kevin Nelson. A great opportunity for you to learn more about setting up your own system, learning how to get into MetaStock and dig deeper and learning how to do it. Hundreds of hours of videos, 3 sessions a week. Learn MetaStock, a great resource for you to use at learning more about how you can improve your trading and your success with learning how to use your tool that you have available. Reach out to me, al.lakey@metastock.com. I go by my last name, kind of a long story. Like Jeff said, I've been here for 18 years. Only been in the not quite 18 months yet. I've been in the sales area. I was known for under a different name at that time because, but to keep the confusion down, I couldn't use my first name, my natural first name. So I'm using my middle name and I go by my last name primarily, just as a little background on that. But definitely reach out to me, ask for me. I appreciate it, helping you, and I want to be there for you. Not sure if Jeff's going to bounce back in and conclude the webinar with me. This is my first time of doing a full webinar on YouTube, so I'm really happy to see how this comes out. I hope you. Okay, good. I hope somebody learned something and I was helpful in some manner. But reach out to me if you have any questions. Oh, you know, that's a good question, Jeff. I'm glad you asked. Let me take a look here and I will find, let me see here, that information. Actually, I don't think that's listed in this particular group of slides. But you know what? There definitely is. Let me see. Was that on my slide? Probably not. Time to edit. You know what? If you email me, I'll send you a link to sign up where if you are not currently using MetaStock, you can buy 1 month of our system and get 2 free. And I can put that on this slide so that it's on here. Let me throw that on here real quick. Let's see. pretty ingenious, isn't it? I mean, it just has metastock.com/Lakey for myself, 3 for 1. So you could use that link to sign up as a new user to get a 3-month trial of MetaStock. It would be $265 for the real time and $59 or $69, depending on the region, for the end of day. Let me see. I'll start the slideshow again so that that's in a better format. So yeah, there's where you can link yourself and get a 3-month trial. Reach out to me if you have any questions or you need that link. If you'd like me to, I can send you more information on MetaStock. I can send you information about our Zenith program that comes with the real-time version. And it'll also include the same trial option for you. Great question, Jeff. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody, and good luck and success for your trading.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. Before you go, I have 2 quick things for you. 1, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTube book, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those 2 things. Thanks for joining us and keep on trading.